With how insane the end of the episode was, I would think I'd come up here saying that Edward and seemingly Edward turning into his Shadow Master would be the best part of the episode, and while I do think it is, the thing I come out appreciating the most has to be Rum. I'm not gonna joke around. I really feel like Rum was a fascinating addition, someone who was the least of my focus early on, and over the past couple of episodes has really cemented herself as a intriguing character that stands next to the best of them, and honestly, it's kind of heartbreaking to see that she's never been given a name. She's not only that, she's never talked to her master, and the reason she's called Rum, which is so different than that of her master's name, isn't a coincidence. It's the fact that she named herself that, her little rummy finger, the thing that allows her to be a little more confident. She named herself in order to not feel alone. That's heartbreaking. We'll definitely touch upon her a bit more down the line here in this video, but we do gotta talk about Edward. There's been a lot of theories I've seen, and I think one of the harder things to pinpoint is what is the Shadow Masters truly, because, let's be honest, I don't think many people watching think the living dolls are in fact dolls. It's crystal clear they're human. They grow up, they have scars, they literally function like any human. It's a matter of, were they born there? Were they taken there? That's a bit of a certainty, right? We don't know where that goes, but it's clear they're humans. So what is the Shadows Masters, and why do they look so similar to them? And if the end of the episode is to be believed, to me it feels like a parasite. It feels almost like they're raised to become their ideal form, and then maybe they take over them, because Edward, a question I've seen, where's Edward's Shadow Master? Why is Edward always alone? If this is to be believed anyway, does that mean Edward was eventually consumed? Does the human Edward not exist? Is it just the shadow now? Is it a back and forth? Do they take over? Do they take turns? It's difficult to say, but it feels to me, if I was to place money on any bet here, the shadows are some form of creature, some form of parasite, that hunt down humans or breed humans, one of the, maybe even both, let's be honest. And after they become the perfect ideal face, they behave a certain way, maybe that's when they're like, okay, that's who I want to be, and they take over. Maybe there's something more to it, but it kind of feels like the direction they're building up to, and if that's the case, is the only way to get up into like Lord Grandfather territory to really have a face that has no personality? I don't know. If that's the case, Kate and Emilico will never get up there, and if anything, Kate and Emilico will be the ones to tear it down. It definitely says to me that unless you're at a certain floor or hierarchy in this chain of command, you don't know the true extent of what the living dolls and yourself are, but most likely the Lord Grandfathers, the Edwards of the story, they're the ones who truly know the deep dark secrets of what's out there. You don't plant traps to stop people from leaving the mansion unless you don't want them to find out the truth, which probably relates to what humanity is. It's just a matter of, is humanity outside those doors, or has humanity been all but extinct because of characters like the Soot Masters, right? Hard to say. Definitely a lot of mysteries, and when you think you have a pretty good idea of where you believe the show will go, they introduced the end of the episode to shake it down, and honestly, this episode was pretty tame, pretty normal. There wasn't anything truly extraordinary about it to really make you, have your brain rattle around, and the last couple of minutes come in and just completely destroy everything I thought I knew, and I love that about this show. It's definitely a mystery. Last week I compared it to almost this maze feels like a less dangerous version of a Resident Evil puzzle, and I still feel that way, especially considering how the teamwork is definitely lingering on. Characters who have basically shears to cut through the hedge maze. That is actually a lasting effect that will let other characters pass through easier. Just really cool, right? But I have to say, like I said, Rum is my favorite edition of the show. There's been some questions I've seen. I didn't really question it too much because, I don't know, there's just so many mysteries at play that Rum having a weird name in comparison to Shirley, the fact that it wasn't something similar as if, all the characters are, minus, Emilico, of course. It's something that I just thought maybe it was just something random. Maybe they're just not a good Shadows Master in terms of what the family looks for. But the fact that she had to name herself, and it's pretty disappointing. You can understand the lack of self-esteem for a character like that. But to have Emilico be the polar opposite, maybe, she just enjoys cleaning. Maybe that's why you never have to do anything. Maybe she's just not a talkative person. Maybe that's why she just enjoys your company because you don't press her to talk when she doesn't want to. Maybe she's making a funny face and you just can't tell. It's simple things, but I really appreciate how this is a show that really understands that every character needs to be important. Ricky, as an example, is a really great addition. First saw him, I thought he was a prick. I thought he was going to be that noble Malfoy-looking character who just, he's someone who rubs you the wrong way. But over this episode, I mean, someone who's actively helped someone get to their master, and, he's behaving as a Fae should, respecting the master's wishes, and he just gets shunned because how dare you walk with her? Are you in love with her, or is your master in love? It's causing so much problems, and the fact that I can actually feel bad for Ricky in comparison to where I felt about his character a few weeks back, a month back, is kind of insane. Like, every character's intriguing, even if Edward rubs me the wrong way and I feel like he's a supervillain. Incredibly well-written character for what we know so far, and I just imagine the more I understand him, the more I learn about him, the more I'm going to say this is a really well-written character through and through. Even if we only know them at surface level as of right now, their surface level personas are pretty damn good, and even ones that I initially pushed back against, Ricky, Rum, they've started to become characters that I'd say are probably some of my most fascinating characters. To be perfectly honest, outside of Edward, just for the more intriguing plot elements, the characters I'm most interested in following going forward for the remaining episodes, Ricky and Rum. Two of the characters I would have put near the bottom of my favorite characters list only a couple of weeks back. Insane how good the character writing has been, how good the production has been. I mean, even the point when Edward was playing on the piano, they did a 3D hand movement. Generally, 3D piano playing looks atrocious, just based on experience from different anime. Looked really good. They just know how to make this production feel so organic, even though it's so unnatural. Shadows emitting soot and all these interesting things. The fact that each Shadow Master has a different way of emitting soot, and that's how they actually found one of the characters. There's just so many little clues being just cemented here that are just like, I can already see how Season 2 get crazy, but even Season 1 as it stands as a self-contained story is good by itself. It's really interesting, because I imagine if we went back and watched I think it was 2 episodes back, 3 episodes back, when they were first in that hall and they were dancing and things like that, we probably would have been able to pick up on the clues like the different soot emissions and things like that. It's just so cool to see how much is planned and foreshadowed, just right underneath our nose without even realizing it. Incredible stuff as always. I'm loving the characters, the cast dynamic, and slowly but surely getting more and more understanding. And especially considering that this is just one big game to someone like Edward, and how it feels like one of the characters he mentions that is probably going to fail is Rum and her master, and the other one probably Emilico and Kate, but it's definitely an oddball pairing that might be throwing him for a loop. Incredible stuff. I mean, this is just an amazing show. It's shocking, it's mysterious, it's cute and funny. It kind of is a mixture of a wholesome slice of life mixed with a horror escape thriller, and you don't get to say that too often. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below, your favorite moment, and who's your personal favorite character as of right now to see more content of? Even if they're not like your overall favorite character, like I said, Ricky and Rum are kind of the characters I really want to see the most of going forward in this anime, so let me know yours down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you're happy and new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.